Right. Yeah, our next speaker will be Rune Christiansen. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Rune has been the creator at Kattegat Center in Denmark, in Grenaa, for 3 years now. He told me that, but he's still keen on having his hands in the tanks, which is nice, not sitting all day at the desk, which some of us have to do. Right, he's giving us a talk about shark training at the Kattegat Center, so we're looking forward to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Nicole, and thank you for the opportunity to talk today. As Nicole also explained, talk about the shark training at Kattegat Center. And at the Kattegat Center, we have for many years experience in training our seals, both grey seals and common harbour seals. And since spring in 2011, we also dedicated time and started to train some of our sharks. And this is what is going to be the talk about. Here's the outline, the purpose of the training, of course, and all the initial consideration about the training, development, status, and also wishful future actions. This is training theory. Of course, it can be a helpful tool in the behavior management of animals in captivity. And the primary purpose of training is allowance of proactive healthcare and reduce stress by veterinary examinations and handling. Have the possibility to make unstressful or less stressful length measurements, ultrasound scans, weighing, maybe even endoscopy and blood sampling. And of course also allows behavior management and reduce or prevent stereotypic behavior from some animals or unwanted behavior. And secondary, it allows research and also public education. The needs are at the Kattegat Center. We have 20 years anniversary this year, and I used to feed all our sharks from a feeding podium. We see that later on, but we have no acute problems with our general management. They are more or less trained from the start. They come in, they have a signal when you just enter the podium and so on. These are the pelagic sharks. We have sandbar sharks, sand tigers, the nurse sharks, and also zebra sharks, 5 black tip sharks, reef sharks, and some white tips also. But sometimes chaos and risk of bites exist, and when feeding from one station or podium of all of them. So it was wishful to lower the pressure from this station, and also could be nice to have more proactive healthcare possibilities. And of course in other aquariums, other challenges, the bigger the tank, more fish, more management necessary. But we were in good control before also. But still, how should we do it? We have a lot of experience from our seals with the proactive healthcare, overall conditioning training, and so on. So, but still, we went through experience from other aquariums. We had an intern seminar, a whole day with brainstorms and everything, with species and number. As I explained, we have a multi-species tank, our shark tank. Also where to train. We have an open tank, as you can see here. This was the best overview picture I can get. So it's like a panorama photo. So it's not your eyes if you get a little disorientated. But we have an open tank, around 550,000 liters, with a shallow end up in the farthest end from what you can see here, up there. We have a closer look at that. And normally we feed our sharks from this podium. It goes a meter or so above the water, out in the water. And of course, yeah, where to train is not wishful for many, as many of the other aquariums, floating podiums and so on. Was that an opportunity? Not first step. So we need to find another place for that. That was also in the consideration, and also how. Method consideration, of course our experience from the SEALs were a big value, and what training equipments to use, or tools, and practical concerns, safety both for the trainer and the fish, and as our experience with the 20 years opened shark tank experience, we also have a duty and to inform to our guests, don't put your hands in the water, so that was something we always do, even though they can easily put their hands in the shark tank. We have so far have no accidents, and but it's really important also with the training here that we talk about it even further, and also with science and so on. But it's a main thing also in our all communication to the guest. So don't misunderstand, and no hands in the water and so on. And we selected 3 sharks for the training, 2 nurse sharks. It's 2 males, they've been in the Kattegat Center since '94. And a zebra shark, also a male, that arrived in 2008. And of course they are all bottom dwellers, so they can breathe on their own. That gives some other training possibilities and maybe also easier. Here's what we ended up with. This is the lower end of the shark tank, where we built a training podium. The shallow end here is for where we feed our smaller sharks, our Melanopterus, our black-tip reef shark, bamboo sharks, and so on. Some of our stingrays also are used to be fed there, our white tips, so it's like a feeding area where we have no entrance and disturbance from bigger sharks. And this was our best opportunity to make the training podium, and should also be in the decoration and so on, so it's not as visible what's that for the guests. So we put on the gloves and made it as good as we could, and this is how it looks. So also the training, you stand in water, and we started in January 2011 and decided on different kind of tools. We have of course a feeding stick. It's more or less like a safety distance to the sharks, because we feed with small feeds as rewards, of course. And in the first couple of months we also used, as you can see, I'm holding a long stick in my other hand there with a wire on. For the zebra shark, it has a different learning curve. It took longer time for it to realize that it should enter up on the podium and so on, so we had to learn it up there the first couple of months or so. We also incorporated an auditive call signal that was also used as a bridge for the first 3 months. Then it was we took it off. Of practical reasons mostly, maybe not as useful as first thought, and it worked okay. From inspiration from, I think it was Shed Aquarium, in our brainstorm seminars, we saw some aquariums use a triangle, so we tried that, and that's just kept on. I made some sound measurements on it, and relatively or compared to the sharks' capability of hearing, it's in the high tones, but there's still some undertones that is hearable or detectable for the sharks. We can easily see a reaction, even though there are possibly many other cues for when to train or come to enter the podium. And then after 6 or 7 weeks, we did it public for the first time, and bit by bit, we trained every day since, almost, with educational speaks in around 20 minutes session each day. And in the weekends, I have students, biology students as staff, and they also need training education. It's a big challenge also. And they have like basic exercises because it's the daily feedings and trainings still goes on. But it's okay, it works. And the 2 nurse sharks that have been used to be or trained to be fed from the podium in the deep end of the tank for over 18 years. So from the first day we started it, of course, no feeding from that place anymore. And they were fast to realize that they should come to the podium, but still up in the water surface, enter. That's why also the big sharks won't enter the shallow end. They don't know what to expect when they get over the shelf, so they don't dare that. So that was also something we should learn them to do and feel safe about it. And then we started also for tactile touch and handling, just put the hands on their back the first couple of weeks and still a basic training exercise. And of course they had a reaction on that the first couple of times, but as you will experience later, it's really no problem for them now. And we have defined order of individual stations, so each shark has its right place and they know where to go and which are their side mate. And it's also made it possible for medical proactive healthcare. So let's see some of the photos I have. I thought about clipping some movies for you, but that was a bigger technical challenge for me than first suspected. So we'll take some photos, and I also have a small video, but you're welcome afterwards if you want to see more videos. Here's the scenario. I think this is from the summer. Both nurse sharks and what I'm doing now is with the zebra sharks is farther away from us. Here's one of the nurse sharks. They don't have names, they're just the dark one and the lighter one. And we also learned the nurse sharks to roll over. It was after our purpose was like after handling and so on, they got used to that. We wanted the abdominal or ventral examination to turn it around. So we thought we just physically would swap it around, but something interesting happened. It's really impressed us. It has now an exercise where it rolls over by itself for abdominal examination, and it took a couple of months to do that. And we started in month 4, and after 2 months or 3 months, it got it. And of course, it always can be refined and so on. We also have gill examination, gill biopsy, skin scrape with possibility of minimum stress. We can just have a veterinarian out besides me. We can make all of this. Also for research, PhD projects, and so on. The zebra shark is another challenge. It has another behavior and also a different learning curve. And after half a year or so, we decided that the training development will focus most on the 2 nurse sharks. Maybe it was a little bit too much in the start. We started with 3 sharks. We should maybe never have, or later have introduced the zebra shark. But still, it's we have the basic training. We'll come here. We also have good what is it called? We also have treated it even in the tank, so it works okay. But main focus is still on the nurse sharks. But when we have more time, zebra shark will also be more in focus. Here's some pictures of one of the rollover for abdominal examination. It's all under control, as you can see. Maybe even in the video here. In the next slide, here we have the gill examination, biopsy, and now see if we have a challenge with the video. Yeah, sorry about the sound, I think. It was made yesterday morning, I think. Yeah, and it was just, this is the touch on the nose, it is the command, so it should turn around, take it in on the podium, and we have it been laying there for several minutes, also make it more or less a complete investigation, also veterinarian. And now it wants its reward. That's why it starts sucking and then just turn around. So the practical use of it is all worth all the time we have dedicated for it and all the sweat and tears. Of course, we have more control in our management, both the feeding, we have a lower pressure on our feeding podium, and we can just chime the triangle. The sharks will enter for examination. Compared to before, we still relying on that with the other sharks. There's still a catch a la Steve Irwin style and so on. Of course, as gentle as possible, but still danger for the animals and stressful for them. And this way we have, for these 3 sharks, daily health checks possible, and even we have some cases here. We could follow the bite wound on tail on the zebra shark. I think it was one of the sandbars that chewed a bit on this, and we could follow it and even treat it if necessary. Not necessary in this case, but even it has a really, in March this year, it has a really bad wound above its right eye. I thought maybe it would eventually fall out if infection came in and so on, so it was looking really bad, but this way we could fully control it or inspect it every day, treatment in the tank, no use for isolating and the zebra shark. Could also follow a cut from the ventral side on the pectoral fin on one of our nurse sharks when it was on its back. And of course also we hope that we change the view from a lot of our guests on sharks in general, and in our speaks and in our talk, we talk about, of course, all this should not be misunderstood. As I told you later, this is still under control, and also they have like the mirror of, or the image of sharks as man-eating monsters and so on. And of course, we also tell them that no hands in the water, they are still potential animals, and we know what we do, and we're professionals and so on, yeah, most of the time. Our experience so far and troubleshooting and challenges, we have experienced no further safety issues. That was also something we should experience. What about the black tip? What about the white tip? Will they swim around our legs and so on? But they keep safety distance. We of course we have our small sharks that are fed 3 times a week. So sometimes, but it's mostly when we feed out in the deep end, they will interfere and disturb the feeding of our bigger sharks, and that's not good for their own safety. But not up by the training ramp. Sometimes bamboo sharks swim around. One time, one of our Atlantic stingrays entered and was laying on the bottom, on the behind. So we limit, of course, all our movements up there. Also the pressure underneath the water will also affect the nurse sharks that's lying beside us. So it's also safety issues with of course, the stingray, and if you step on it, it will react and potential sting one in the leg. But it was only one time, and it was we saw it and everything, so it's totally under control. We just skipped away. We even have also moray eels. They sometimes come, but we just push them away with the feeding sticks. And in general, when they're not rewarded up there, don't find any feeds lying on the bottom and so on, they don't get reinforced in coming there. There's a case example here. It's also, of course, a big challenge for us with the relatively many trainers. It's a practical issue, of course, in the weekends and so on with the students, and yeah. One thing is wishful thinking, and another thing is in practice. So, we had one of our troubleshooting, or one of our challenges, and it's a case example here in fall 2012. The nurse sharks, intentionally, we thought that they were being on the shelf, and then we could take them separately up on the podium, but more or less it has gone this way, that most of the time both nurse shark is on the podium, and then is rather small podium. Even if one of them is make a roll, then it will of course need more, and then push the other one. And but it was especially the one that's on the picture here on the slide that was far away from the trainer is of course the best position to be nearest the feeding trainer or where the food comes. So this was number one place, so there was a little bit of dominance problems there, pushing each other and so on. So we had not much control when they were there, so it was not so good. And so we closed down this exercise for all the other trainers except for 2 main trainers. And so the exercise with turning on its back was limited and always in control, and put on an assistant trainer to feed the one farthest away, just as and it was successful. After 2 months, it learned that it's the right place, it should be there and not be pushed or push the other one and be mistakenly or thought it was also be rewarded by that. And of course, the future actions, we had that in plans also in the spring, but yeah, it was not. I didn't have the time to set it on, but still it could be very useful also for less stressful weighing examination, to learn them to teach them to swim in a stretcher more and more out of the water, so we have the possibility to weigh them. Also introduce target, so they'll follow that to the weighing place. We have like a crane, otherwise we need like 4 or 5 people maybe. Also every exercise enhance the time laying on its back. Also tonic immobility is also a possibility. Done that sometimes where it's been like 12 minutes on its back. Zebra shark, also enhance the time spent on the training podium. And training plans is of course important. So you have, like in theory, what it's going to do and follow up on that. And here in the winter time we have some weeks closed, and this is where I have my next move, where we build a twin podium on the left side to the existing one. Thank you, and of course you're welcome to come to Kattegat Center also to see the training. And yeah, that was all.
Thank you, Rune. Are there any questions?